standards are basically voluntary. You can come up with other means to comply with it, but still it should be closely aligned to the intent of the standards. That's something you may be running into. And if your app has a clinical functionality, or in our case had a hearing aid functionality, then you are faced with hearing aid standards. So all of a sudden you need to have testing facilities to validate, to verify that the product actually does what you plan it does. So you need to look for test houses, test equipment, extra costs, have them calibrated, so all these other dimensions come in. Okay, and then while working in the App Store, if you upload it in the App Store, the language requirements do apply, but how to deal with a recall? You build your product, there's a bug in it. And normally if you distribute to physical customers, you go to the hospital and say, well, this product has a bug, please recall the product. But now it's out there, and it's on my app, on my iPhone, and I'm no longer I'm not synchronized for a week or two. I run around with this app with this potential bug. So this is a challenge to deal with.
Especially also because you do not control the platform in which the app is actually distributed. So in that regard, if I'm distributing this app into the App Store of Apple or Android or whatever, I would say then that perhaps the legitimate way Apple and Google would be forced to enable this recall and basically delete for every user of the app the app on their devices. Would that be possible?
Well, ask Apple. I wonder if it is possible.
I think they.
The same applies with synchronization to iOS updates. So if Apple updates the application, and I still don't do that. I still have this other app. So they run into compatibility things which you can solve, but smartly think of as part of your design. So what are the disable mechanisms should you have a problem with it? If the product, the patient comes online and it is not really synchronized that you disable the product, first send up a pop-up. If it does ignore, then just disable the app or whatever. So the different ways to deal with it.
Under the new medical devices regulation, there's a supply chain regime that's put in place, and that actually also addresses specifically distributors in the definition that would also fit to a distribution platform. So Apple would be an importer or distributor or both under the new medical devices regulation when that enters into force. Then they also have their own autonomous obligation to have a process in place to verify compliance of the manufacturer. So then Apple, they are going to be obliged to verify that the manufacturer has done the required conformity assessment, for example. So this is going to be a lot of work for them. And presently they're sort of sneaking under the radar about it, but I'm pretty sure that they are working internally to set up a process for that. That as soon as this regulation is in a shape that they think, okay, now there's no escaping it, then suddenly you will see that it will be really difficult to get in your applications into the App Store if it's in the healthcare category.
If you upload a new update for your app, so you need to get another approval.
I don't have to say the word. If it has
It's a minor update, which you see all the time on your phone.
yeah.
You need to go through the approval procedure again. You have a proper quality system in place, etc. But still,
Well, it depends. No, basically no. But you would need to anticipate by describing that in your procedures that the minor revisions can be implemented, which have no clinical relevance, and set criteria for that you can implement them.
And now there is a bug.
Yeah, if needed.
And suppose that there is a bug, so you have a recall mechanism and you pulled out a new version. Does that mean to go through upgrade? Yeah, it would upgrade for the version with the bug.
Well, if you make a new version, basically you would need to still update that to the, if it's a, depends on the classification. For class 1 devices self-certification, but still you would need to update the database of the DSS that you bring a new product. If it is not, if it is a higher class, you need to go through your notified body and get it actually approved. Okay, as I said, software is quality system. For me it is synonymous to quality system. If you build software, you can only do that by doing that in a kind of structured way, to have defined its own set of SOPs for that, which basically is a quality system. For class 1 devices, the mandatory part is that you need to take care of change control, post-marketing and communication to the authorities. And for the high classes, you need to build in a formal quality system. This is a project Eric and I went through for this hearing aid app. That we needed to establish a 13485 based quality system. The file needed to be audited, the quality system needed to be audited, and there we needed to select a notified body. There are many notified bodies, GCRIME, TUV, PSI. So I have talks with more than one notified body to see, because you have a business relation with them, how is their field of expertise, what's your relation with them, what's your business model with them. And preferably select on one of the big ones, because the new medical device directive will also have the new medical device regulation will also have a shakeout, may have a shakeout in the number of notified. And if you build a quality system, here we go again, there you must be dealing with a number of procedures. So the important one is product realization, because that is what you do. You may subcontract activities to buy hardware to build your software on. You may also buy testing services to deal with it. So all these aspects deal with that, and that's what you will need to address. And basically, this is a must for a class 2A device, for the higher devices. Then you must have such a system. But building software in a medical arena also has these dimensions. That you can only do that correctly if you do it in a structured way. I think this was I don't estimate this project. We worked for this, Eric and I worked on this project with this client. The time frame is 10 to 12 months before you have a whole system established. You can bring in a set of SOPs, and basically that's a 2-day work. But still, it needs to be implemented, it needs to be tailored to the organization. So really, to have a system up and running is some work. And we work with engineers, and they say, well, I came with all sorts of proposals, well, that's bullshit, that doesn't work for us, it needs to be more condensed. So we really work with them into a model which works for them, because you can impose a quality system, but that will never work. You need to have it actually implemented, and people will be motivated to work upon it. Yeah? Oh, sorry. Kappa is, at the moment you encounter a complaint or something which is not working according to the way it should do, then you should do a corrective action to solve the issue. But if there is something fundamentally wrong or needs to be changed on a systematic level, then you also need a preventive action. So adapt your quality system to prevent for the reoccurrence. So if you have your CE mark for the product, and if you have self-certified your product, it's time for champagne, because then it's already the product can on the market. But basically that was only the preparation phase. Then it starts. Because then you have the product on the market, you need to keep track of how it works, where it is, if there are issues, how to resolve, if customers complain, how to take that into account. So that's really basically brings in this continuous process to which quality system can often have, that you need to keep the product, keep the CE mark rather than get the CE mark initially. So basically that concludes my presentation. Are there any questions?
Yeah, Hans, a lot of things you mentioned are things I would do anyway.
Yeah, right.
But can you say the project you mentioned with the hearing aid, the percentage you have to add on to the budget, that we think you didn't want to do anyway?
Unfortunately, they hired Axon, so the impact on the budget was huge. but still, yeah, it took some time. It took engineering time, particularly engineering time, to get the engineers motivated and to work on that, and not being able to work on new projects, but work on quality system, which was new to them. It was challenging, and it took some time to get them motivated and to have it in.
Because I usually, I call it the pi factor. I multiply the budget by the 3.14. If it's an IT project.
Yeah.
But do I have to still multiply it now with medical devices?
Well, basically, the film quality system I mentioned is a one-time effort. But still, I think, I don't dare to say, but it comes close to the pi factor.
What's the price of the app in the App Store?
Sorry?
What's the price of the app in the App Store?
Oh, the app is, yeah, 5 grams. 5 grams.
So it will never be covered. That's just for the customer.
If you sell it like that, you will never sell it. But it's the business model of the customer. There was one more question.
Yeah, thank you for your presentation. Do small companies will be able to go through this whole process? I mean, it takes about 11 to 12 months. I don't know what it costs, but will it kill them, or will only big companies will be able to see?
Yeah, that's a challenge for startups. I agree on that. And you may hire third-party experts, but you can also do it yourself. It's not rocket science. So, but it's a challenge. I must agree with that.